the Cribbage Board giveaway. First 25,000 fans. Tickets are limited for Saturday. Hope to see you at WTMJ Day in tailgate lots as well. We are going to start the show by recapping the win on Wednesday, given the fact that we didn't have a post-game show. So we're going to play some highlights, hear the audio calls of that one here in this first segment. We're also going to talk a little bit about the road trip overall. Yes, you ended on a good note, but you still went 2-4. So what did we like? What did we didn't like? What needs to improve moving forward for the crew as they come home for a quick 6-game set? On the road for 4, back home for 3 for Memorial Day. And then we'll talk about the newest top prospect list from Fangraphs. Now, you may have seen Baseball America and MLB Pipeline are updating their top 100 now that certain prospects have reached enough service time that they have graduated from rookie prospect status. This is Fangraphs' initial preseason list, their top 45. Eric Longenhagen does a great job. I've known Eric a long time and really enjoyed his list. We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about the Jacob Misiorowski conundrum because, oh boy, did you see what he did today? We'll get to that a little bit later on in the program. We'll give a brief preview on the Twins and what to expect this weekend if the Brewers want to get back on track. And finally, I will add my name to the pile of takes that are out there about Pete Rose and Joe Jackson, the reinstated 8 men out, the Black Sox, and among others with the really big news this week that they're reinstated. So you can participate in the show. We'll talk about it at the very end, but 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620, the Saudi Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no? Give me a reason why. You can call in, you can text in. I have my takes. I'll reveal my take at the very end. I want to hear from the fans who maybe some of you have seen him alive. I haven't. I didn't see him play ball, but highlights and what I know about the character and what I know about the player, and what we know about his post-playing career as well. These are all things that are factored in. I'll talk about that at the very end of the program. But first, let's get happy, shall we, as the Brewers salvage the finale. I'm kind of sick of talking about salvaging finales, but nonetheless, the Brewers got the job done on Wednesday in Cleveland. And this was another game that the Brewers, they got out in front. They fell behind briefly and then got things going in the right direction. And the best part about this game is that the Brewers got going 2 innings into the contest. And from one of the guys that's hot in the order, we'll talk about him in a moment, that is Jake Bauers.
The 1 pitch to Bauers is a fly ball left center field. It is pushing Jones back onto the warning track at the wall. He jumps up. It's off the top of the wall. Holding up was Contreras. He's around third. He's headed for home. Here's the throw home, and he's in there sliding. And the Brewers have broken that scoreless drought. It is 1-0 Crew on the RBI double from Jake Bauers off the wall in left center.
Huge moment there. Break that scoreless streak. Feel like you're in a contest. Lane Grindle on the call. However, Logan Henderson on the other side, he was pitching well. We'll talk about him in the next segment too. Gives up a game-tying homer to Kyle Manzardo. No big deal. Both offenses would go quiet for a little while. Then, in the 4th inning, a big couple sequence of events would happen. As always, a leadoff walk tends to score. And when you lead off walk to Jose Ramirez, one of the best base runners in the game, he's going to make it hurt. So a bloop single into center with 1 out and a great read by J-Ram makes him go first to third. So you have men on the corners and 1 out, and then another bloop single into left field to allow J-Ram to score. But that would be it because there was the out on second, I should say. So there was a base running blunder by Gabriel Arias after J-Ram had the great base running play. So that's a little moment that we got to talk about with the defense later on here in the show. But now the Guards have the lead. It's 2-1. How are you going to respond? Well, the Brewers avoid the shutdown inning. How many times have you heard me talk about the shutdown inning and how important it is as an offense to avoid shutdown innings? And they're 1 strike away from being shut down. They're down 2-1. It's a 2-2 count with 2 outs on Sal Frelick.
2-2. Fly ball to center. Hit pretty well. Jones going back at the track, at the wall. Bye-bye baseball. Sal Frelick ties this game at 2 on his 2nd home run of the season. Boy, did that have to feel good for Sal and for that Brewers dugout, as Frelick showing a little power, a little pop.
And then he showed some emotion when he came back into the dugout, spiking his helmet underneath the dugout, yelling at his teammates to let get going. We talked about that on Tuesday with Nick Mears coming into the dugout, fired up and excited and getting the lineup going. Well, Logan Henderson responded with a 1-2-3 bottom of the 5th inning. He gets the shutdown inning, and then all the momentum shifts over to the Brewers. Pitching change. Gavin Williams was out. and then Tim Herron is in. He gets Yelly to strike out, but then a double by Contreras and a walk by Terang. See you later, lefty. Here comes the righty and old friend Jacob Junis to face Rhys Hoskins.
First pitch brought home is a slider, lined over the glove of the leaping Schneemann and into left field. Contreras around third. On his way home, he will score. Sliding into third is Terang. And on his way to second on the throw is Rhys Hoskins. The Brewers take a 3-2 lead here in the sixth.
They weren't done. 2 pitches later. This is moving fast on Junis with Bowers at the plate.
And second and third in the infield in. Bowers lines one into right. That's down for a base hit. Terang will jog home. On his way to third is Hoskins. It is 4-2 Brewers on the RBI single from Jake Bowers.
Then a perfect bunt single by Isaac Collins would reload the bases. Durbin gets an RBI the hard way, getting hit by a pitch. Brewers are in business. They're in control. They're up 5-2. Then, to keep things going, right? Logan Henderson was done after 5. Nick Mears, a 1-2-3 6th inning. You come back out for the 7th. Rhys Hoskins in the middle of it all once again. This was reviewed, but they got it right.
Hoskins waits the 2-1. Drilled deep, left center field, way back. That's up towards that big green wall up there. It hit off the top of it, stayed in play. Rounding third, Contreras, throw to the plate on a hop. He is tagged out. The relay executed by the Guardians to end the inning.
Don't worry, it was reviewed. It wasn't a double. It was a homer. Rhys gets the shot. That makes it 7-2. And just for good measure, J-Ram hit a 3-run homer for his stats to make this game a little bit sweatier. It was 7-5 in the 8th inning, and Rhys having himself his best day in a Brewers jersey.
There go the runners. 3-2 pitch is lifted into left center. This is going to get down. Plug the gap. Contreras around third. He will score. Terang on his way home. Here's the throw. It's not in time. It is a 2-run single for Rhys Hoskins. He's driven in 5 in this game, and it is some huge insurance for the Crew here in the 9th.
All right, so all positive. You get the win. The offense wakes up. You break the scoreless streak. You score 9 runs. Everyone is feeling a lot better about it. So let's talk about this road trip overall. 855-616-1620 is the phone number right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Back with more Brewers Weekly after this.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jack Centurio Star Wars night bobble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers cribbage board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at Brewers.com.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
You just can't pass on Less's Glass. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Brewers are home for 6 straight games starting tomorrow night. Our coverage will begin at 6 o'clock. I've got you for Brewers warm-up. 6 o'clock tomorrow, 7:10 game. Then or 5 o'clock Saturday because it's a 6:15 game, nationally televised on Fox. If you're somebody that syncs up your television, by the way. So FanDuel tomorrow, Fox on Saturday, then back to the normal 1:10 on Sunday. We were on the air at noon. They're coming home with a 2-4 road trip in tow. What did we like? What did we not like? I got 3 things of each. Let's start with the not like. Sal and Bryce going cold during this road trip. Now, granted, we just talked about with the highlights that Sal just hit a homer, and it really sparked this team. It really helped him spark as well and get things going in the right direction. But when you look at this road trip, Sal Frelick, that was only his 3rd hit of the road trip, 3 for 24 overall, and his only extra base hit of the trip. Granted, only 2 strikeouts in that stretch, too. So he's putting the ball in play, not really doing it with authority, but that's part of Sal's game. Turang only went 2 for 25 on the road trip, 2 singles, 5 walks, though, and also 5 strikeouts. Good to see the patience from him. And, if you want to put one more in that bucket, Yelly had a good end to Tampa, but he had a tough go of things in Cleveland. Overall on the road trip, 250. We're fine with that. No big deal. Just 2 extra base hits for him, but 8 strikeouts led the team on this road trip. So monitoring those guys having a little bit of a cold funk over these last 6 games and get them going in the right direction because they're the catalyst. It's part of the reason why Turang slid down to the 5 spot and Frelick up to the 1 spot because Bryce was in an offer until yesterday. And then furthermore, we've talked about how the reason why the Brewers like to put Bryce or Sal in the 5 spot, maybe not Reese, is because that's the spot that leads off an inning more than anybody else, according to the Brewers and their models of what they say. And we saw that quite a bit over the week. So get those guys going against the Twins. That will be very important. Something I did like, though, in the lineup, 2 guys, Jake Bauers and Rhys Hoskins. On this road trip, they were your 2 leading hitters. Combined, they went 14 for 34. 14 for 34 is a .412 batting average. They had 14 hits. The rest of the club had 30 hits. They had roughly 33% of your hits from 2 guys over the last 6 games. And they had 5 extra base hits in that time. The thing I love about Rhys right now is he is just unashamed to pull the ball. I dare you to throw me something over the plate because I'm going to pull it. He's leading baseball in pulled fly ball rate right now, which is where you get all your power from. Rhys joked yesterday with the media that it's nice to swing with 2 legs underneath me, indicating in a way how much he was still recovering from his ACL. And we kind of previewed this in spring training, and not to toot my own horn here, but we told you about all the guys year 2 removed from an ACL tear in baseball, how this isn't football. It's just a different sort of strain on the ligament where, sometimes you see these guys come back so fast in football and ACL tears, and it's like, oh, why can't you hit with that? Well, it's just a different motion. And guys in year 2, right? Acuna won the MVP in year 2, that 70-40 season, right? First one to ever do it. That was year 2 after the ACL. Marcus Stroman pitching in the playoffs year 2 after his ACL. No, it was a big deal about him coming back in the same year from an ACL tear because he's a freak, but it was the year after is when he got going in the right direction. It's something that we've been monitoring, and I'm really happy for Rhys to be power, but Jake Bauers needs to stay in this lineup too. You need to find a way to keep them both in the order. And now that kind of comes at the expense of Yelich ever having the opportunity to play left field, but I think they really don't mind Jake Bauers' defense in left field compared to Yelly's because he's got a history of corner outfield. He can also play backup first base. You don't have another real backup first baseman on this team aside from Jake Bauers, so that's something to monitor if they bring in tough lefties for the whole game against him. But for Jake, I mean, it's a small sample size against left-handed pitching this year, but he's doing his job. I'd like to see a little larger sample, just 3 for 7 plate appearances, 3 hits, a double. He struck out twice, walked once. But you can't take Jake Bauers out of this lineup right now. And the good news is the Brewers are going to be facing 3 righties over the weekend from the Twins bullpen, or starting rotation, I should say. So plenty of opportunity for Jake Bauers to continue to start, given he has been one of the hottest hitters in the Brewers lineup. And then, in case you're wondering, they only have one real leverage lefty. That's Danny Coulombe. They have a length lefty who's a up and down optionable player in Cody Funderburk. But aside from that, they're really a one lefty band in that bullpen, so something that could work into the Brewers' favor. Okay, that was a long like. Let me give you a quick don't like and like here. Don't like the short starts. Tobias gets optioned, now he gets called back. We'll talk about the injuries in a moment. That's, talk about getting him a reset, trying to get him back on track, and, well, hey, now you're going to start on Saturday. Thanks, but 4 innings and 3 walks just ain't going to cut it. And he knows that, and he'll get back on track. It's May. He didn't even click into gear until June last season when we really thought, okay, that's the guy. But then even beyond that, right, Chad Patrick not getting out of the 5th inning against the Rays, and now part of that because the game was so close, but even was falling behind and giving up a lot of 2-strike hits in that game. And then I would have liked to see Logan Henderson go one more inning, but with the off day, they knew they had a fresh bullpen. And then also with the injury to Jose Quintana, they knew that Logan's going to stick around now, too. So I didn't like having short starts from everybody in this rotation. And Freddie not getting out of the 6th inning either. That was big as well. So let's see somebody complete 6 innings this weekend, please and thank you. Something I did like, though, was the bullpen continuing to be dominant. Nick Mears, holy cow. No runs allowed on the road trip. Just 1 inherited runner, but that was an unearned run. That was the obstruction call that nobody knows the definition of. Jared Cannon gave up the homer yesterday. That's the first real big blip on his radar this season. Abner Uribe has been great. Tyler Alexander has been quietly really good lately, too. So the bullpen continuing to be dominant is something I liked from this road trip. And then a paired like and don't like here. It's pretty simple. Jackson Chourio on offense, I like it. Jackson Chourio on defense, I think Chourio is still a little apprehensive. We've talked about this being a fear for the Brewers and that while he fills in center field, is he going to make the adjustment? We talked about him not making the play on Monday for Freddie, and we talked about him diving forward for a ball. That didn't really matter in the game, in the grand scheme of things, when the Brewers didn't score a run on Tuesday. But those are the growing pains you're going to deal with a 21-year-old in the outfield. But offensively, he's striking out a lot less, right? Over this road trip, 27 plate appearances, only 4 strikeouts. That's a great sign. His OPS on the season is down to 733, but he's still hitting doubles. He's got 22 extra base hits. 14 of them are doubles. He's still stealing. The walks are still a little bit low. 4 walks on the season. But here in the month of May, 13 games, only 7 strikeouts. So that's a great sign to see if he continues to attack the baseball and have good things happen to him. So pretty simple like and don't like. I think those are pretty fair. What do you think? 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Let's talk some prospects, shall we? Fangraphs released a top 45 Brewers prospects. We'll talk about it briefly next on 620 WTMJ.
Catch more Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ. Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
I remember I never spoke in front of a podium until the NFC Championship game.
See the world from his perspective.
With all due respect, why were you asked to go to the podium?
To be podium guy.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
What do you mean with all due respect?
I didn't want it to come off like I was being rude. I'm just curious.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. It comes off incredibly rude. Hey, Tausch, you suck. What are you doing up at the podium? Well, thanks, Bill.
Presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
We've all experienced that feeling of lacing up a brand new pair of shoes.
And for some reason, it always felt like new shoes made you run faster, jump higher, and of course, look better.
Yeah, it was almost magical.
A brand new set of tires on your car or truck will instantly give you that same magical feeling.
Courtney, I couldn't agree with you more. A new set of treads always makes your vehicle look better, but more importantly, allows you to stop faster and grip the road a whole lot better.
Which is necessary when the weather is bad and driving conditions are poor. You'll appreciate having the extra traction.
Remember, there isn't a tire brand on the planet we can't get.
Everything from Goodyear Continental and Kelly to Dunlop, General, and Pirelli. If we sell it, we install it.
Plus, every tire we sell automatically comes with free flat tire repair. So be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough nose and throat evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknowes.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
It's Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Fangraphs. You should subscribe. That's all the cool kids are doing. Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. I've been a fan of Fangraphs for a very long time. It's made me a smarter baseball fan. And I used it in the minor leagues because they had tremendous boards for minor league rankings and stats and stuff that you can't find easily on other places. It's an easy subscription. It becomes ad-free. You get access to their prospect rankings. You get access to customizing the website to your liking. That's what I do. I actually use it to export data whenever I'm doing my national games of the week in order to make these little custom reliever cards so everybody feels informed. Subscribe to Fangraphs. It is the best $50 I spend a year. It's so good. It's so good. I mean, literally, just the other day, David Laurila, I follow him. I met him in Boston last year when the Brewers were there. Talked to Paul Molitor. Just talking hitting with Paul Molitor, right? Great article there. Jay Jaffe, he does great work as well, talking about Pete Rose and Joe Jackson, all of that other stuff. He had a great expose. Obviously, it's a hot button topic right now. We'll talk about that at the end of the program. But part of it, Eric Longenhagen, who I've known since I was in college back at Arizona State when I had hair, he wrote the top 45 Brewers Fangraphs prospect rankings. No surprise who's number one. Now, that's not the drama of this segment of the show. Jesus Made. And Jesus just turned 18. Remember, we talked to Nick Stanley a couple of episodes ago. I encourage you to go listen to that as well. But on the season right now, coming into the day, a 306 batting average, a 409 on base, a 454 slug. That's a 145 WRC plus in the Carolina League as an 18-year-old. 13 stolen bases, 3 homers, 5 doubles as well. He is striking out about a 25% clip, which is to be expected as an 18-year-old. But he's also walking, 17 walks. So great signs from him. It's a good walk rate, 13% for somebody as young as he is. Obviously, he's going to be your number one pick. But I went down the list here. Let me just give you the top 5 from 5. Luis Pena, who's also on that talented Carolina Mudcats team. He's going to be 18 for the majority of the year. Logan Henderson, he's in the big leagues now. He's going to graduate from prospect status here soon. Cooper Pratt is number 3, still only 20. He'll turn 21 later this summer. Cooper's been fantastic in Biloxi. And then Jacob Mizorowski, and we'll talk about him in the next segment specifically, is number 2. But I got 3 names, all pitchers, ironically enough, that I want to point out here that I'm glad are getting a little bit of pub here from Fangraphs. First and foremost, I want to start all the way down at number 18, Coleman Crowe. This is a trade and a prospect return that I think a lot of people have forgotten about. He was the return in the Tyrone Taylor, Adrian Hauser deal to the Mets. It was the first, and still only, if I'm not mistaken, Mets-Brewers trade in the David Stearns Mets era. Now, Coleman Crowe had Tommy John surgery when that trade went through, so he actually had to miss the entire 2024 season. He pitched in the Fall League and now has returned to affiliate baseball. He is Rule 5 eligible this coming offseason, so we will be monitoring him come the reserve deadline. But they're limiting his workload right now, only 17 innings so far. But the numbers are good. 24 strikeouts, only 6 walks. Keeping an eye on Coleman Crowe for the rest of this year as he gets stretched out and gets back into the swing of things as a starting pitcher, ranked at number 18 on Fangraphs. Another guy that's not pitching this year is Josh Noth, number 11 on Fangraphs. Tommy John surgery right at the start of the year, but somebody that Eric writes in this write-up saying, comparable to Sonny Gray. Man, these guys don't throw around comps to perennial all-stars like that all the time. And for Sonny Gray to be mentioned with next to your name, that is always a great sign. Considers it a yacker of a curveball. I love that phrase, yacker. Just coming darting down. It's a really good pitch for him, but we won't see him this year. But keep an eye on him for 2026 come spring training time if you're down there with us. And then finally, Bishop Letson, number 8. He's in high A right now. A 1.33 ERA in 27 innings. His K-minus walk rate is 23%. Why do we care about K-minus walk rate? Well, it just simply means you're striking out guys and you're not walking many. If you're over 25%, you're elite. He's at 23% right now. Bishop Letson, another slow build. Let him develop within the organization. He's only in high A, and he's also only 20 years old right now. He'll turn 21 later this summer. Third-round pick from a couple of years ago. Starting to see the pieces that the Brewers are really excited about for Bishop Letson. Looking further down this list, I do want to point out, though, as well, the hottest hitter in the minor leagues, Brock Wilken, is all the way down to number 31. Now, you can understand why coming into the year with how much of a train wreck it was last season, but for good reason, right? He gets hit in the face, he has a lot of life changes, he gets married, has a child, has to go to the fall league. Like, a lot went wrong and right for Brock Wilken last season, but right now it looks like everything's going right. Almost an equal walk and strikeout rate. He's starting to get the batting average up now, too. He's still slugging over 550. His weighted runs created plus leads the Southern League. He's still only 22 years old. He'll turn 23 in June. Man, he's going to be in AAA by the end of the year. And I know he's number 31 here, but he's got some fast rising capability on him. So again, I would recommend you to go check it out on Fangraphs, the new Top 45. Over there, plenty of complimentary words about how much the Brewers invest in their minor league systems and why it seems to work. So shout out to you guys at Fangraphs. Love your work. Keep up the great stuff. So let's talk about the number 2 prospect, according to Fangraphs, Jacob Mizorowski. What did he do today? Why is it a big deal? That's up next on 620 WTMJ.
More Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape, and they're great for building dry-laid retaining walls. They're much easier to deal with, lock together nicely, and you get less gaps. No wet mortar needed. And we've stocked a multitude of colors. You can use them as an accent item to add character to your dry river or creek beds, too. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our organic mulch is comprised of all trees. Most mulch is made from ground-up pallets, and you don't know what might have been spilled on those pallets. Could be chemicals or who knows what. But not our mulch, we're recycling trees. Many species of hardwoods. Cedar, hemlock, light brown, dark brown, mocha, black, red, gold, and caramel. 7 colors to choose from means a mulch to match any exterior. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Hey, Milwaukee, the sale you've been waiting for is finally here. WTMJ's John Mercure here telling you that Kohlder's is offering huge limited-time savings on furniture, appliances, and mattresses during their Memorial Day weekend sale. Right now, Kohlder's takes 60% off, plus an extra 10% off furniture and mattresses. That's right, 60 plus 10 on sofas, sectionals, dining sets, outdoor furniture. I just shopped at Kohlder's. Stack these 2 incredible discounts and save on everything you need to get your home ready for summer. Kohlder's also offering exclusive Memorial Day prices on appliances. Take an extra 5% off their already unbeatable deals on all your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, etc. Kohlder's has been trusted by the Milwaukee community for over 83 years for 3 reasons. Better selection, better experience, best value guaranteed. Shop the Memorial Day weekend sale in-store at one of their 4 locations. With extra 10% off regular and clearance furniture and mattresses, 5% off regular appliances in-store and online from May 16th through May 26th.
Step up to quality furniture. Get more for your money at Kohlder's.
Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
The Slender Man, Jacob Mizorowski, 6'7", about 165 pounds soaking wet. That's an exaggeration. Let me see what he's actually listed at. 6'7", 197. Again, that's soaking wet. 197, that's soaking wet. He's a thin dude, but man, he can chuck it. Today he threw a pitch 103 miles an hour in the 6th inning, and another great start against the Memphis Redbirds, the AAA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals. Why is that significant? Because in the pitch tracking era since 2008, now StatCast era goes to 2015, but we were still tracking pitches since 2008 with the Pitch FX system. We don't need to go into the history of that. He is, in AAA or the big leagues, in the pitch tracking era, The first to throw 103 miles an hour in the 6th inning or later as a starter. Some freakish velo coming out of his hand right now. Today's start went like this: 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run on a solo homer, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. He had a no decision. As today, checking what the actual final score of that game was, the Nashville Sounds, load, waiting. They lost today, or did they? No, they won today, 3-1. They came back and won. Good for them. Anyway, more about Miz. Over his last 5 starts, this goes back to April 22nd, he kind of got knocked around by the Charlotte Knights on April 16th. Gave up a few homers, had 4 walks in that game. Wasn't quite sharp. But since that game, he has made 5 starts, and here are his numbers. 0.59 ERA. I beg your pardon. Let me start this over. No, I was right. 0.59 ERA. Let me start this. Here we go. 0.59 ERA. 30 2/3 innings. Only 15 hits. That's a 147 batting average against. He has 38 strikeouts in those 30 2/3 innings. Only 7 walks. In fact, of these 5 starts, he has multiple walks only once. He had a 4-walk start against the Gwinnett Stripers. He still worked 6 innings in that game. And listen to the pitch totals as well as he's ramped upward. First, it was 76 pitches and 6 shutout frames with 8 Ks. Then it was only 67 pitches in a tandem, or in a day that they had to go to a tandem behind him. 5 shutout innings with 9 strikeouts and no walks. Then 6 innings, 5 Ks, but the 4 walks had 92 pitches. 99 pitches, most he's thrown in AAA. 6 2/3 against Norfolk. That's the one that he struck out 8 of the first 9 batters of the game. Then he had 5 strikeouts today, throwing 86 pitches and topping out at 103 miles an hour. So what's the conundrum? Number 1, he's not on the 40-man roster. So you would need to have a corresponding move. But Dom, there's a spot on the 40-man right now. Put him up. Okay, well, you still got DL Hall's on the 60-day. That would need a spot. Blake Perkins is on a 60-day. That would need a spot. There would need to be other corresponding moves with that. But if Jacob Misiorowski continues to force the Brewers' hand, say, hey, man, strike the iron while it's hot. Now, he could be directly tied with a few guys, right? It could be, are you directly tied to one of these rookies? We kind of all assumed with Brandon Woodruff's return due this week, not anymore because of an ankle issue, that Quinn Priester would be due to go down. But now, depending on how long it takes for Woodruff to come back, Priester's optionality is a key factor if Misiorowski is going to come up whenever Woodruff returns. But that also matters for Aaron Savali to return. He also needs an active roster spot. Then you start facing hard decisions, right? Well, Tobias Myers has already been optioned and had to come back for injury. I imagine he's on the short list of guys that could be sent down right now. It's unfortunate, but performance can keep you here longer. And then you have the hard decisions like Logan Henderson and Chad Patrick. The Brewers have too much of a good thing, which is a good thing. It's a stressful thing, but it's a good thing to have a lot of starting pitchers available and pitching well right now. And it led me to tweet this earlier today. It's just a reminder to keep things in perspective that there are literal jobs in Major League Baseball to continue to forecast your team 3, 5, 7 years down the road. And now the Brewers, heading into the next season, in no particular order, depending on what they do at this trade deadline, can choose from any of the following to break camp with, assuming health. Freddie Peralta, Robert Gasser, Logan Henderson, Chad Patrick, Tobias Myers, Jacob Misiorowski, Quinn Priester, Aaron Ashby, DL Hall, Carlos Rodriguez. Those guys are on the 40-man. Coleman Crow will be on the 40-man. Brett Witrowski, he's going to have a good year. I imagine he's probably on the bottom of this list, but the point I'm saying, that is some serious depth. On a year that the Brewers are going to lose Nestor, they're going to lose Savali, they're going to lose Woodruff. They have Quintana. They have free agents to be in their starting rotation. They are locked and loaded, ready to go for 2026. So the assumption may be, trade from the pitching depth to go get offense. Well, the depth disappears if you trade for a win-now move on a team that is still 2 games under 500, can still get hot. But the depth they have is depth as long as you let it be. You don't want to be, you got to walk that line, right? Are you a prospect hugger, or are you somebody like the Padres who are just wheeling and dealing all the time because you trust your process? That's why I'm not a general manager, and I tip my cap to Matt Arnold and company of how hard that job really is. I do want to say, I want to put my flag in the ground and say with certainty, from what we've seen, Jacob Misiorowski deserves to be in the big leagues. That being said, there are a lot of factors at play. I think we will see him in the big leagues this year. Role to be determined. But I do believe we do see Jacob Misiorowski in the big leagues this year somehow, some way. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Twinkie, shall we? Border battle coming up next. Brewers and Twins this weekend right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Back with more Brewers Weekly after this.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jackson Churio Star Wars Night Bobble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers Cribbage Board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at Brewers.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the Exposition Center at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only inside the Exposition Center at Wisconsin State Fair Park.
You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
This is Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Brief little chat about the Twins. They're white hot. I'm Dom Catronio, 855-616-1620. This quick text from Danny on the east side. Danny, the name I said was Josh Noth, Knoth. So the three prospects we're keeping an eye on now. Noth isn't pitching this year because of Tommy John surgery, but Josh Noth, right-hander. Bishop Letson, right-hander. Coleman Crow, all right-handers. Keeping an eye on those guys throughout the rest of the year. Okay, Twins. We mentioned the start times earlier, but just again, 7:10 tomorrow night, Friday night, 6:15 Saturday night, and then 1:10 Sunday. By the way, Cribbage Board giveaway on Saturday, Jedi Jackson bobblehead on Friday. That one's from ESPN Milwaukee. Cribbage Board is from your best friends here at WTMJ. It's a great giveaway, 25,000 of them. Get there early. Anyway, Joe Ryan and Chad Patrick go tomorrow Pablo Lopez and Tobias Myers on Saturday. Zebby Matthews will be making his season debut in the big leagues for the Twins. He made his big league debut last year, 9 starts against Freddie Peralta. What do the Twins do well? They strike you out. They can pitch it. They got one of the best closers in the game in Yohan Duran, lurking in the 9th inning. Brewers are in a stretch of that, facing really elite closers right now. From Pete Fairbanks to Emmanuel Clase to now Yohan Duran. And then Felix Bautista when the Orioles come to town. But now how you can avoid them? Take the lead. However, the Twins are elite at inducing strikeouts, reducing walks, and making it difficult on your offense. Again, that K- walk rate, something we keep an eye on. They're second in all of baseball in their K- walk rate. They're in the top 10 in total strikeout rate. Their team FIP is about 3.5, which is also one of the best in baseball. It's a very, very, very daunting pitching staff. And you're seeing the front end of it. You're seeing the brunt and the really, really talented part of it. Now, until recently, their offense had been the underwhelming aspect of their team. There are a couple key injuries, though, to monitor. Ty France hasn't played the last couple of games. He sat out game 2 of the doubleheader on Wednesday. Didn't play in today's finale against Baltimore. And now Harrison Bader is also dealing with a sore groin right now. He's been one of their hottest hitters on the team, so we'll wait on their status when they arrive to town this weekend. But their offense, almost identical to the Brewers in just a little underwhelming at this point in the season. Brewers steal bases, the Twins do not, but the Twins hit homers, the Brewers do not. It's an interesting juxtaposition of one team, like the Twins, right? Minnesota, they've hit a lot of home runs lately. They're still only 20th in baseball with 40 total. The Brewers are 23rd with 37. So it's been a very weird start for the Twins in Rocco Baldelli's club. The guy to watch out for on this team right now, I would say, would have been Harrison Bader, but we have to wait and see if he's healthy enough to play in this series. But it's still Byron Buxton. I mean, I'm looking at his numbers right now. He just continues, when he's on the field, and I know that's saying a lot, but when Byron Buxton's on the field, man, he's good. Hasn't been on the IL this season, 31 games, or 40 games, I should say. He is still striking out 33% of the time, but he's still got a 500 slugging, a WRC plus of 124. He's got 9 homers, 8 other extra base hits. He's not walking, but he is striking out. He's 8 for 8 in stolen bases, too. The Buck truck still drives this train for the Twins. So keep an eye out on that. On the injury front, though, real quick, in case you missed it over the week, Jose Quintana on the IL. That happened yesterday. Shoulder impingement. He was slow to recover from his last start in Tampa. The Brewers said, hey, if you're going to miss a start, we got to put you on the IL. So they put him on the IL. Bring Tobias Myers back up after they optioned him in order to make room for some bullpen help. And now, going from give him a chance to reset to, hey, we need you to get back up here. So we'll see how he can respond to the mental fortitude of all that. Brandon Woodruff was maybe hoping to start this weekend, but now there's a new injury, not arm-related, it is ankle-related, right ankle inflammation, his push-off leg. So we'll get an update, I imagine, from Woody tomorrow at the ballpark to see how he's feeling and how far along he is. It's something he has been dealing with during this rehab process. And finally, a few guys have actually returned to action out in Arizona or transferred to minor league assignments. We have heard about Tyler Black returning to play. Jefferson Caro's returned to play. Also, on the more imminent front, Aaron Savali, maybe one more rehab start for him. Brewers will wait and see what to do with him, but he's been pitching very, very well on his way back from his hamstring strain. So that's your quick update. Looking ahead to the series, we'll take our last break and finally talk about Pete Rose and Joe Jackson and throw my name on the pile of everyone who has something to say about him being reinstated and eligible for the Hall of Fame. That's next as we wrap it up after this on WTMJ.
Catch more Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jackson Churio Star Wars Night Bobble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers Cribbage Board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at brewers.com.
For those with a warm weather fashion passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. We install anything decks and more. Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
It's Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
All right, I got a couple minutes left here, but let me wrap things up with you may expect me to say on how I feel about Joe Jackson and others being reinstated by Commissioner Rob Manfred and Pete Rose, of course, hogging all the headlines on all this. I encourage you to read about the Black Sox scandal because there are a lot of myths out there that are just simply not true. And I commend everybody at the Society of American Baseball Research. I'm a member of that one as well. Jacob Pomeranke, who I've known for a long time, has made this his life's work, and he has done an amazing job profiling the Black Sox and why this has gone out of hand and what actually happened and that sort of thing. And when you read about the Black Sox and you realize the players initiated throwing the World Series in 1919, that it was a player-driven pact, and people say, oh, well, it was because Comiskey wasn't paying them. That's not true. The White Sox were one of the highest payrolls in baseball that year. We have the logs to prove it. That was a player-driven scheme now being reinstated. Article 21 is thrown to the wind. And the same with Pete Rose. I understand why Rob Manfred wants to say, it's a lifetime ban and they're no longer on this earth. They are deceased, so the ban ends. No, I disagree entirely. Lifetime is forever, to quote Squints Polidorus. Forever. You break Article 21, you are gone forever. You know when you clock in, you can see all the United States or Wisconsin labor laws wherever you clock in your place of work. Article 21 is everywhere in the clubhouse. It is posted, do not gamble on baseball. Do not give bribes. Do not give gifts to umpires. It is clear as day. And anybody who breaks that rule should be banned forever. Not about, oh, well, he only bet on them to win, did Pete Rose about the Reds, allegedly. He bets on baseball. Black and white. Forever. I never want to see him in the Hall of Fame. Solely for the betting. We can talk about the other stuff if you really want to, because that's another reason he shouldn't be in. I want to make it clear. Forever. Thank you for listening. Brian Kelly's our producer. I'm Dom Catronio. Keep on swinging.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studio.